It's no secret that I despise the Percy Jackson films. I made 2 videos explaining why these films are so horrible and how they disrespected the original series. And I'm certainly not alone on this opinion. Most Percy Jackson fans agree that these films are absolutely awful. And even Rick Riordan, the author of the original series, has spoken out very aggressively, which I also made a video on if you're interested. So the question is there anything good about these movies? I'll be honest, it was hard to find good things. I was originally going to make this video have 10 points, but I couldn't find 10. I just couldn't. So instead, we're going to go over 7 things that came out of these films that were actually good.
Did that really just happen?
Number 7, dyslexia. The film was really clever in the way they showed Percy's dyslexia. Dyslexia is of course something that all demigods have, which is the result of demigods' brains being hardwired to interpret ancient Greek, not English. When I thought about it, this is actually really hard to show on the screen, and it definitely took some creativity to come up with how to represent this visually. We see this first in the classroom, but my favorite use of this effect is when we see the letters on the Camp Half-Blood sign move. Even Rick Riordan himself praised this small detail when he wrote to the studio after reading the screenplay. Number 6, Thalia's rebirth. The final scene in the Percy Jackson films is one that had to be on this list. It's rare that they're actually fully faithful to the source material, and this scene is one of the few examples of this. After putting the golden fleece down to heal the tree, it brings Thalia back to life, and just like the book, we end the film on a cliffhanger as Thalia says,
I had the strangest dream.
Yeah?
Like I was dying.
What's your name?
I'm Talia, daughter of Zeus.
Granted, we never got to see this cliffhanger pay off because the films were so bad they got cancelled, but it was well done nonetheless. Number 5, Revenge on Gabe. The mid-credit scene in the first movie was a really great scene to add because in the book, we didn't actually see this play out, we just heard about it later. But seeing Sally kick Gabe out was like a hell yeah moment.
You changed the locks?
Yes. So here's your junk. You can let yourself out.
How am I supposed to move all this stuff by myself?
Deal with it.
Then seeing Gabe be the greedy person he is lead to him being turned to stone was a great addition that added a lot to the movie. It doesn't happen often, but I think they really pulled this scene off using their own creativity. Number 4, Luke and Chiron. Most of the characters in these movies are nothing like their book counterparts, but I have to give them credit for Luke and Chiron. Just to be clear though, they didn't do either of them full justice. Movie Luke still has a lot of problems, and Chiron was only good in the first movie when he was played by Pierce Brosnan. I honestly didn't like or feel that he was Chiron in the second film with the actor change. Only Brosnan really made me like the character.
In my world, I'm known as Chiron.
Luke is my favorite character in the series, and he was pretty much the only character who matched the image I had in my head while reading the books. No one else looked how I imagined them. Movie Luke had glimpses of being a really well developed and really well adapted character. They sort of threw all that away with the ending with Kronos though, but we'll just pretend like that didn't happen. And as for Chiron, it's Pierce Brosnan, he doesn't miss. He did a great job bringing Chiron to life, even if his horse half was the wrong color. Number 3, seeing Camp Half-Blood. Camp Half-Blood is such a cool place, and fans of the books had dreamt of seeing it on the big screen for years, and these movies did a pretty good job of making this a reality for fans. Again, it's not perfect like Hogwarts was in the Harry Potter films, but it was definitely exciting to see Camp Half-Blood come to life. You can tell they put a lot of thought and detail into these scenes, especially with how much is going on in each shot, which I have to give them credit for. There's just so much going on in the background. They also did a great job of using the many parts of the camp during the bull attack scene, and though the bull attack came up short, which I talked about in my review for this movie, it was cool to see the vast land that encompasses the camp. Number 2, Thalia's sacrifice. This is by far my favorite scene in the 2 films. It was a hell of a way to start the second film, and if I'm being honest, I had hope while watching this. I was like, holy crap, this is actually really amazing. Maybe the rest of the movie will be this good. But obviously I was wrong. This scene was handled in a way that respected the source material, gave the situation great drama and suspense, did justice to how brave Thalia was.
Keep going, I'll hold them off.
And the CGI when Thalia becomes the tree was so well done. Also, shout out to all the child actors who went off for this scene. They had some very impressive and very gripping performances.
Grover! Luke, help him!
Grover, are you okay? My leg, it's stuck.
Then Percy's voiceover at the end was the perfect way to end the scene, and I thought it was a great way to explain what happened to Thalia, because it's not easy to explain how Zeus was involved in this. The book can just come out and say it, but the movie had to come up with a different way of showing this, and I think Percy's voiceover was the best way to do that.
Her name was Thalia, and she gave her life to save 3. And so, as Thalia lay dying, her father Zeus found another way for her to live.
And finally, number 1, exposure. As bad as these movies are, without them, Percy Jackson would not be as popular as it is today. Me personally, I was introduced to this series because I knew of the movies, and there's so many more out there that share the same experience. Having these movies is what brought about the exposure the books needed, and honestly what they deserved. I'm almost certain that we would not be getting the Percy Jackson TV series if these movies did not exist. So though myself and many other fans bash on them, I am so grateful for how these films expanded, exposed, and broaden the Riordan universe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life, like my cute dog Loki, and some behind the scenes Movie Flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel, so if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me, and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video, plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and look out for more great Movie Flame videos on the way.